The Bucks bouncing back in a big way, taking care of home court advantage to beat the Nets in a low-scoring affair, 86-83. No James Harden. Chris Middleton had 35, Giannis 33. They combined for 79% of the team's points. Kevin Durant led the Nets with 30. They're still up 2-1. And here is Tim Legler after what was just an embarrassing blowout in Game 2. Give me the one key. What specifically did Milwaukee do that got them back in the series last night?
Well, one big thing they did, Greeny, was take advantage of the way the game was being officiated. That looked like a game from mid-90s. The contact on the perimeter played to their benefit because they've got guys that can get up into you, get physical. P.J. Tucker, Giannis Antetokounmpo, these guys can hound you. Drew Holiday, and it really affected the game. And they needed to do it because it was a night like I felt like I was watching an NBA Jam arcade game. There was only 4 guys playing offense in that game. 2 on each team. But the one big difference was, in addition to the guys that were taking all the shots, the Milwaukee Bucks had like an extra guy put into the arcade game, and his name was Brook Lopez. And he was protecting the lane, and he was protecting the rim. Everything was being funneled back there. The Nets weren't getting to the foul line. Only 8 free throw attempts in the game. So Milwaukee made this a half-court, slow-down pace that really affected the Nets dramatically because, Greeny, the one guy they have that is most equipped to play through that kind of contact is sitting on the sideline, and as my man Scott Van Pelt said, over there with a beard like a billy goat. James Harden wasn't playing, and if Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving can be played the way they were last night, you can force them into inefficient nights, particularly when nobody else got involved in that game offensively whatsoever. So for me, that game took a turn in how this series is supposed to look if you're the Milwaukee Bucks. You need to make this about defense because that's where the Brooklyn Nets will come up small when they need it most, and they did at the end of this game. You know, Chris Middleton was able to operate with comfort when he needed to. Drew Holiday gets that layup, biggest possession of the game. He basically shoots an uncontested layup. The Nets are not founded on defense. They want to get going offensively and just put too many points on the board for you. If the game is played that way, and particularly officiated that way, to me, that's a major advantage for Milwaukee going forward.
Again, 86-83. With these two teams, usually that means it's time to start the fourth quarter. That was the final score of last night's game. So I can't think of a better way to ask this question. Are the Bucks back in this series? It seemed so totally over 2 days ago. Are they in it?
Yeah, they're definitely in it now. They got to win, and they're taking a huge sigh of relief because they were able to sweat that out, and they got one. Now, the question is, can Brooklyn be that bad again offensively? What they need to do is understand there's other guys they're going to need to get involved in this. This cannot be my turn, your turn, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving every night because James Harden's the guy that's going to get them easy shots. He's not out there. So now they've got to make sure they include other people. And if they do that, ultimately, I think their offense is going to be a little bit too much for this series. But right now, there's no doubt Milwaukee feels like they're back in it. They shot a horrible percentage from the three-point line. Drew Holiday had a rough night. They relied on 2 guys the entire game offensively, and they still got a win. That's a great sign for them. But the Brooklyn Nets are the ones that are going to go watch this film, and they're going to realize how poorly they played offensively in this game with the lack of inclusion of other people. 8 free throws, nobody else on the team shooting a free throw besides Durant and Irving. And 8, by the way, is a number each of those guys should get to most nights in a playoff game. So for me, it's Brooklyn that can look at that and say, man, that's not us at all, and that's where you're going to see a much better performance. So, look, the Bucks are in it. But Brooklyn has a wide margin now that they can look at and say, we've got to clean some stuff up here, particularly offensively in the way that they move the basketball.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.